Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Rahasya Bhava Gambhiram Jigrantyatmanam Atmana Kandya Sasarja Bhagavan Gandharvapsarasam Ganan. With a laugh full of deep significance, the worshipful Brahma then evolved by his own loveliness, which seemed to enjoy itself by itself, the hosts of Gandharvas and Apsaras. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The musicians in the upper planetary systems are called Gandharvas, and the dancing girls are called Apsaras. After being attacked by the demons and evolving a form of a beautiful woman in the twilight, Brahma next created Gandharvas and Apsaras. Music and dancing employed in sense gratification are accepted as demoniac. But the same music and dancing, when employed in glorifying the Supreme Lord as kirtan, are transcendental, and they bring about a life completely fit for spiritual enjoyment. I am very grateful to be amongst you. Sri Sri Radha Ras Bihari's most auspicious home. Srila Prabhupada's blessed office. Today, we are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 20, entitled Conversation between Maitreya and Vidura, text number 38. In previous verses, Lord Brahma, in the process of creating this particular universal phenomena on the order of the Lord, is personally going through various transformations. Srila Prabhupada explains, in order for there to be creation, one must be empowered by Rajaguna, or the mode of passion. So Lord Brahma, a living entity with extraordinarily pious karma, is given this particular role. Born directly from the navel of Lord Vishnu, the first person he meets in his life is Lord Vishnu, who not only gives him the knowledge of the Vedas, which tells the whole purpose of life within the universal creation, but is also empowered on behalf of the Lord to do the work of creation. A very extraordinary service. So as Brahma is doing so many various obstacles come in his path. And each time he has to turn to the Lord to help him. This is the nature of service. Whatever service we may be given on behalf of Krishna, undoubtedly obstacles will come on our path. Sometimes very dangerous and apparently impossible difficulties. And in such a situation, a devotee welcomes the opportunity to totally take shelter of Krishna in full dependence, knowing that there's no other way to overcome it. When Srila Prabhupada was on Jaladuta, executing the order of his spiritual master and Krishna, he saw before him impossible obstacles to overcome. The obstacle of his frail age, going to a foreign land, no facilities, practically no proper contacts, no money. He didn't even feel that he spoke English in such a way that it could be understood. He was going to a land where no Vaishnav had ever put his feet. Very difficult. Impossible. And factually, besides his Guru Maharaj, everybody told him it is impossible. Give up the hope. Sumati Murarji, his very loving well-wisher, she said, Swamiji, do not go. Impossible. You will die. And his friends, and his family members, and even his godbrothers, who were also given the same order, they all told, impossible. Do not even try. But he did, because of his complete faith in his Guru Maharaj's instruction. His complete faith was in causeless mercy. And he wrote his beautiful poems, Markine Bhagavat Dharma, wherein he prays to Krishna in a very helpless state, completely dependent. Krishna, if you do not give me the words, it is not possible for me to penetrate their hearts. If you do not give them the understanding by which your message will have effect, then I can do nothing. I am completely dependent on you. I'm your puppet. Make me dance as you want me to dance. You have given me this name, Bhakti Vedanta. Now, my Lord, it is for you to fulfill the purport and the real purpose of this name, to give knowledge and devotion. You're insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami. And this is the spirit of the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. Devotees being put in impossible situations and taking shelter of Krishna. The prominent stories of Bhagavatam are simply this message. The Pandavas were put in impossible, difficult situations. Jayadratha, it was impossible for Arjuna to kill him by sunset. Only Krishna could save him. And then there is Prahlad Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, the Brijbasis, when Indra sent his rains. What could simple cowherd men, cowherd ladies, and cows and bulls do against the Samvartaka clouds? the clouds of total devastation of the universe, thundering, lightning bolts, massive torrents of rain. Just recently in Bombay, you had 37 inches of rain in one day, and it paralyzed the whole city and took over 1,000 people's lives, and the whole world was watching in great amazement. What could you do? But that was just an insignificant little earthly monsoon rain. But the clouds of devastation, Samvartaka clouds, it didn't fall in drops like that 37 inches in a day. It falls in pillars of rain pouring from the sky. Those clouds in one day could create 50 miles deep of rain. That is their power. In a single day, they could make the whole earth into one gigantic ocean. Hare Krishna. And with all their power and all their strength, they were viciously casting winds and rains. Even recently in New Orleans, Hurricane Katrina and the strong winds and rains. But these clouds, with all of their powers, they were sending winds. They were probably thousands of miles per hour, those winds. And torrents of rain. Now, what are the little cows going to do against that? Srimad Bhagavatam is all about this story. They all turn to Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Mahabaho. You are very strong, Krishna. Please save us. The Brijavasi said, please save us, Krishna. And look, your cows, they are in distress. Your cows are in distress. You are the protector of cows. So Krishna smiled and lifted Giriraj, Govardhan. And just by the power of the touch of the tip of his little finger on the bottom of Govardhan Hill, Giriraj was so empowered that 7 days of these massive winds and rains, they could not remove a single leaf from a single tree on all of Govardhan Hill. Hare Krishna. Not a drop of water came under the hill. And not a single blade of grass was uprooted on top of the hill. When Krishna wants to protect, there's nothing to fear. Vajahure mana Sri Nandanandana abhaya charana ravindare. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. That we pray to our mind. Please engage yourself in the loving service of Sri Nandanandana. Then there is nothing to fear. Otherwise, this world is full of fear. At every moment, there's something to fear. And for an ordinary person, the only reason they're not in fear at every moment is because they're ignorant of all the possibilities of what could go wrong. So many things to fear. But for a devotee like Prahlad, or Ambarish, or Pandavas, or Brijavasis, or Srila Prabhupada, there was nothing to fear. Because the greater the obstacle, the deeper one takes shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Lord Brahma, out from his rear side came some demons. And immediately they attacked him to have sex with him. This was unbelievable to Lord Brahma. Just newborn children who are boys. They were so lusty, they just attacked him to have sex with him. At first he thought it was humorous, but then he realized that they were serious. And they were about to overpower him. And he ran away. And ultimately he had to take shelter of Krishna. And Krishna told him, give up your body. Cast off this body. So he cast off. Sridhar Swami, original commentator of Bhagavatam, describes that he cast off his subtle body, not his gross body. Actual progress in spiritual life is to cast off one's subtle body, one's false ego, and all of the desires and attachments that it has. Because we have both the gross body and a subtle body. Srila Prabhupada explains, what is liberation? Liberation means to be free from your subtle body. Death doesn't solve anything, really. Suicide doesn't solve any problems. It only makes things worse. You die physically, and according to your subtle body's condition, you have to take birth to experience all the karmas that are meant for you. So really, death isn't anything. Doesn't help in any way. But death to the subtle body, that is liberation. Death to the false ego and all the mind's materialistic attachments. So it describes herein that Lord Brahma's body, his subtle body, took the form of an evening twilight. And it explains herein that this evening twilight induces passion within those who are materialistic. And the demon class, they were so much infatuated by this evening twilight that they saw within that twilight most beautiful female form. They went mad, infatuated, intoxicated with kama or lust. And they were offering incredible glorifications, practical prayers to the form of this woman, praising all the various shapely parts of her body. And they madly chase after her to enjoy her. But actually, there was nothing there. It was just the evening twilight. It was like a mirage. They were seeing something that wasn't even there, but it was such a reality to them. It totally consumed their entire consciousness. But factually, that's what's happening in the whole world. That's what material existence is all about. Chasing a mirage. Due to desperation, you see things that aren't even there. Actually, if you're not thirsty, you probably won't see mirages in the desert. Even if you see something that looks like it, it won't have any... You won't take it seriously. You could easily figure out what's what. But when you're starving of thirst, when you really want something, then you start maya. You start seeing what is not. A person who has no material desires, a person who is fixed in Krishna consciousness, sees everything as it is. Acharyo Pashanam. One who hears from the spiritual master understands everything as it is. However, when we are infatuated by so many unfulfilled desires for our own material enjoyment, and we're always looking, hoping, searching to find the fulfillment. And then Maya takes charge. And she creates an appearance of what is not. Srila Prabhupada defines Maya as that which is not. The whole world becomes nothing but one mirage after another, one illusion after another. Just something, to somehow the mind has to find something to fulfill its desires. The mind becomes obsessed with its desires for sense gratification. And Maya doesn't even have to create anything, really. We see things that aren't even there. We all have this experience in the mind, is it? Sometimes you worry about things, and sometimes you crave and long for things that don't even exist. Experiences that don't even exist. We just manufacture and manufacture and manufacture. That's the nature of the mind. And then the intelligence, when it's overcome by the mind, it creates havoc. So this is what happened to the demons. They're just looking into the twilight and they're all seeing the same thing. The girl of their dreams. The most beautiful personality. And they're chasing after her. Totally obsessed. Their minds, their unconsciousness is consumed by something